give Tennessee credit. They played well on both sides of the basketball. I think we gave up some comfortable shots, and then I think they made some tough ones, and we just could never get over that hump. 21 turnovers, a lot of turnovers. But give those guys a lot of credit. They did a good job winning the game, getting key offensive rebounds, getting timely threes, and enough to win the game.
Okay, we'll go to questions. Please raise your hand, and we'll call on you as quickly as possible. Natalie.
Hey, Coach, I'm going to start off with more of a big picture question here. You guys have had a strong start so far. How do you kind of wash this from your mind as you move forward in SEC play?
League play, I mean, we'll watch film, and all you have to deal with as a coach is part of it. I think for ball players, they're resilient enough to the next game. And the great thing about league play, it turns around quick, so you don't have a lot of time to sulk about it. And, some of the things we saw coming, and hopefully we can get these things corrected. And like I said before, league play, when you get to this point, your margin for error is slim. And some of those things we paid for tonight, and we got to get them corrected.
Mitchell 40.
Cuonzo and Garris, you said you saw some things coming. Can you elaborate on that? What were some of those issues?
Well, I just think really the first 5 minutes, we have to do a better job of moving the basketball, getting it from one side of the floor, and executing what we're trying to do, especially in transition. Not necessarily with set plays, but in transition. Doing the things we do in practice and doing the things that we do when we're playing well.
Eric Blum.
Cuonzo, you kind of mentioned after the Bradley game how you wish you switched around the team's schedule a little bit in terms of just practicing and doing a couple of things different. I know you had to adjust for the Christmas holiday, but what was kind of going on between the Bradley game and this game, just in terms of making the team, improve and stuff that didn't show up tonight?
I just think we didn't play well tonight, 'cause I think we got enough scrimmages in us up and down, so we're having fresh legs. I don't think that was a factor at all. We just didn't play well tonight, and you have to give them a lot of credit for that.
Ben Fredrickson. Ben Fredrickson.
Hey, so what are you seeing from Mark, who has had some foul issues, but Mark has not? He's third game in a row with just 6 points. I know it's not one guy, but what are you seeing from him, and why is he kind of strayed from what we've seen earlier in the season?
Well, I think one is how teams defend him. So they will make his catches one tough because he guy can make shots, and it's our job to put him in a position where he's driving the ball, whether he's coming off ball screens, making plays. We're running them off screens to get shots, and we have to do a better job. I think it starts with us as a staff first. And in some of those areas we talk about for him in practice, his position to be ready to shoot basketballs, and especially in transition, being shot ready and looking for those opportunities. But I think it's more of us as a staff and trying to get him better opportunities to score the ball or at least get shots.
Joel.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned you kind of focus on each part prior to the game. How can you describe his effect on your offense tonight, and how the intangibles of this game kind of affected you guys early on?
I think I couldn't hardly hear you, but I think you said, how do I describe the offense tonight? Again, I think the first 5 minutes we didn't do a good job with ball moving, getting the ball from one side of the floor to the other, and then downhill. I thought it was just kind of holding, dribble, then let's try to make a play. And that's something we've been talking about really. Even in the 6 wins, we got to do a better job of moving the ball in the first 5 minutes, getting down here, executing what we do in practice. And we didn't do a good job of it. I think I didn't hear your other question if it was another one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm breaking up or something, but I really was asking about Pons and his effect on the offense and his side and the attack.
Pons is a good basketball player. I think, I mean, though they have talented guys, and he might be 6 or 7 on their team as far as scoring and statistics, but I think he's probably the most valuable guy on both sides of the basketball, in my opinion. What he brings to the table is athleticism, especially on the defensive side of the ball, whether he's blocking shots or changing shots. He's fun to watch.
Bennett.
Cuonzo, I know you don't like to worry when 3-point shots aren't going down, but when the first few were misses in a game like this with Tennessee's defense, does it make it sort of harder to play in the paint? It seemed like they were able to sort of tighten up in the lane a bit more after that.
I don't know if it's that. I mean, because you have to take clean shots and you have to shoot them with confidence. I think when you're taking jabs and hesitant on shots. Those become tough three-point shots. And then again, you have to drive the ball. You don't have to settle for a three-point shot. I think sometimes the comfort is I can settle for this shot as opposed to driving and making the next play. And again, in this particular game, because you can go each individual game and say something different, but I think their defense had a lot to do with it.
So Wuchi?
Hey, Cuonzo, just after that slow start, it seemed like you guys kind of got back into it late in the first half. Then obviously Tennessee kind of ran with it in the second half. Just what did you think about the energy, I guess, after kind of that quick spurt in the second?
I don't think our energy was bad. I just didn't think we played well. I mean, I don't think the energy was bad. I think you're trying to find a way to win game, but you get a turnover here. Drew Smith had 5 turnovers, and that can't happen for a guy of his caliber, especially as a senior. When you have those turnovers that take momentum from, especially a stretch early in the second half. I think Kobe was taking the ball out, turned over, that type of stuff. It's hard to get back in games like that.
Jack Sobel?
Cuonzo, you got to face the freshmen Johnson and Springer up close for the first time. Those guys getting that scoring off the bench. What do they bring to the table, and how hard is that to defend when you got two guys that talented off the bench?
I think they're good basketball players, and I think what makes them good, they try to play on both sides of the basketball. They play within their system. They take open shots. They drive the ball. They're strong, physical, young guards. I mean, they're good players. I mean, so we don't necessarily see them as guys come off the bench. We see them as good basketball players.
Eric Blum?
Cuonzo, you now mentioned a few times you guys just didn't play well, and this is a simple question, but what are the quickest things you can point out that, like, you can get whatever mojo back you guys had before this game?
I just think, playing with grit. I mean, we didn't. And the last thing I put on the board, the team that plays with the most grit, toughness, and focus will probably win this basketball game. And then the other part is getting offensive rebounds. And they got timely offensive rebounds where they got threes out of them. And I thought they played with more grit, more toughness, and more focus. And that's the result of it. But it's not sitting at a major overhaul. It's just settling in, executing what we do well, and we're good when we're whole, when we're a team, when it's all 13 of us. That's when we're good, all 12 of us.
Mitchell?
Cuonzo, I know you've mentioned the slow starts, a few times. Did Tennessee do anything on the defensive end that surprised you, or that you all weren't prepared for, or was it just a matter of this team being so long and athletic?
No, we knew a man-to-man team. We watched the film. They did what they do, and we just didn't do. We did well enough.
Last question, Colin?
Coach, you had a couple players that looked like they passed up corner threes tonight. I know you focus is having them shoot good shots when they're open, but do you get the sense that because the shots aren't falling, guys are not trusting that shot as much as they did at the start of the season or last year?
Oh, I just think this is the game. I think, you got open shots, you got to knock them down. That's why we spend, especially with corner threes, we spend a lot of time practicing on corner threes. So they open, you got to shoot the ball. I think that's an individual if he lacks confidence to shoot the ball. But no, if you open, you got to shoot it.
Mitchell?